You can use any container. This is a pool noodle that's been cut and then slit down the center. And I just use a plain old kitchen knife. And then you want to see if I can do this where you guys can see it without killing myself. I'm going to start a little further away from my fingers. But you want to cut slits. You want to make sure that you go all the way through. So, see how I can put my finger in there? And you want to come down to the edge that's going to be on the inside of your bowl and stop just before you break through. You don't want to break through. You want to keep it nice and contained. Then once you have all your slits, you can put it on your container. If you want multiple sides, you can do multiple sides, but I just did it like this so everybody could see it and the view wouldn't be blocked. Try to move that just a little bit. There we go. There. Now you guys can see what I'm doing instead of partially me and partially it. So, hard brushes that need to be saved. You could sit there and try to scrub them, but that's going to take a while and you could end up breaking bristles. The best thing that I have found is liquid fabric softener. Any brand, liquid fabric softener. And you pour it in. This one is a Heavenly Vanilla. I do not like flower scented things. They give me a headache. And then you want to put your brushes in the slits. I'm going to show you this one. You want to put your brushes in the slits, and of course it's going to be tight. And then you want to you want to submerge them all the way in the liquid. But you don't want it coming all the way up to this part. That's bad for your brushes. And of course, nothing is wanting to cooperate with me today. There we go. Okay. Get in there. Wonderful. If you had a square bowl where this was up a little straighter, it would be a little easier. So like a square plastic food container. And then that way when you're done, you can close it up and save it for another time. So that's the upside to using a plastic container is you can close it up and save what's in here and not have to throw it all out. So that's all you do, is you put it in liquid fabric softener and you let it sit for about 24 hours. So tomorrow night, I will be cleaning these and I will probably pop on real quick to show everybody how these come out. So that's all I'm going to do with this. Is going to sit in it for 24 hours. That's why I pick a scent that I can handle. Because you got to smell it for 24 hours. So I'm going to make a couple more slits in this one. Make sure I've gone all the way through. You know, and if you find that making a slightly wider cut would help, then go ahead. Make it a slightly wider cut. Cut a little bit more out of that area so that your brushes have room to move a little bit, if you want. So, okay. I've got that. I have some brushes that are not too terribly bad, but they're kind of crunchy because they got put in into my go home bucket real fast at the end of a party or something. And you know, party goers don't know how to take care of brushes for the most part, so there's a lot of cleanup to do once you get home, and sometimes I'm a little lazy and I don't want to do that. So I have a couple brushes that I'm going to show a couple different ways to clean. This is how most people do a cup of water for your brushes. You fill it all the way up, or almost all the way up, and then you stick your brush in there. You stick your brush in there. The bad thing is when you stick a brush in the water and it goes past this part, then water can get down in between this part and the brush and ruin the glue that's holding this part in place. So when you're doing your brush cleaning, or even when you're painting, you only want to have enough in your cup to cover the bristles. Kind of like that. That's just covering the bristles, just getting above the metal line, but not coming up to the top of the metal going to the brush. That's the perfect amount of water, or at least perfect depth of water. So there's that. Now, the way I do it is I have this particular kind of soap. This is my favorite soap in the world. I use it on my hands. Anytime that I have gotten in a rip-roaring mess, which is every time I paint, this is the only soap that will take off all of the paint. And this is Lava Soap. I know the words are backwards. Let me see if you guys can see it. There, you can kind of see it right way. But this is Lava Soap, heavy duty hand cleaner with moisturizers, pumice powdered. And you can get this at Walmart, you can get it at Home Depot, Lowe's, any kind of hardware type store. Usually found, well, in Walmart is found in the soap aisle, but I think you can also find it over in like the hardware section, like where they sell like Goop Off and stuff, because it's just that good. And I always remember an old-fashioned commercial way back when I was probably 10 years old, and every time I used my Lava Soap, I always have to sing that little ditty. I'm not going to sing it. I'm really not. But what I do is I get my soap wet, and I always have something to protect the area that I'm working on. So please remember that when you're cleaning your brushes and everything. Protect the area, because you're dealing with paints, and sometimes paints have actual tint, actual dye in them that can change the color of the area around you. So I have my soap wet, I get my bristles wet, and then I rub it right in to the soap. Usually that's all I need to do, but if it's a little extra, I just found these at the Dollar Tree. These are so stinking cute. Look at this. This is at the Dollar Tree. You can go get it yourself. It's not anything super fancy, but it is a makeup brush cleaner, and it has suction cups on it. Okay, a makeup brush cleaner with suction cups. Stick it down in place, and then you can rub your brush back and forth across those lines. That's what those lines, the ridges are for helping clean out what's left in the brush. And then you rinse out your brush, and it is so nice and soft and clean. Ooh, I'm getting some aromas in this room, and they're not from the stuff I have open, from the 4 dogs laying over there. So now I have a nice clean brush that wasn't, this was that brush that I showed was kind of goopy. Here's another one. Here's the other one. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to rub it on my Lava Soap. Now, a lot of people will go and buy, there are some paintbrush cleaner soaps that you can buy at the craft store. Those are great. But I usually always have Lava Soap on hand, so I just use that. And then again across. And the Dollar Tree has these makeup brush cleaners in all different shapes. I went with the unicorn because, of course, we're called, you know, magical mud, so we have to have magical things. So there we go. I'm going to clean this off now. And ta-da! Clean brush. It's ready for the next. I probably need to rinse it off a bit more. This water's already getting really soapy. But if you do it at the kitchen sink, you can keep all the mess contained in your stainless steel sink, and you can have fresh water to run over your bristles to make sure there's no soap left in the bristles. That's the one thing you want to make sure of, is that there's no soap in the bristles. You want to work with the direction of the bristles. You don't want to bend them really hard because, again, you don't want to break the bristles. So that's how I do it. Now, something kind of cool that I learned at one of the ceramic shows that I have attended is one of the teachers there uses Fabuloso. I know the words are backwards. Hi, Michelle. I see that you have come in. Appreciate it. But one of the ladies there, she uses Fabuloso mixed in with her water. So that way, as her students come and go from her table at the ceramic show, they're already getting washed in between people. And she says she just adds some Fabuloso right into plain water. And then when you take the brush out and wipe it off, it doesn't really leave any residue, so she doesn't have to worry. I have not tried that yet, but of course I have a bottle of Fabuloso. And I picked the lemon scent because I can stand the scent of lemon. Does Lava Soap work on brushes with glaze? I should think so, because most glazes are water-based now for like cleanup purposes. So yes, I would believe the Lava Soap would. And even if there weren't water-based cleanup glazes, Lava Soap is made to take off like oils and greases and, you know, like mechanic hands. So if Lava Soap can clean a mechanic's hand, it should be able to clean glazes as well. Just with glazes, I would take the extra step to make sure that you wash your brushes with fresh running water to make sure there's no soap residue left behind. Because if there's soap residue left behind with glazes, I'm sure that would cause a problem with the glaze adhering during firing. So if you do use any kind of soap products for cleanup after glazes on the brushes you use for your glazes, make sure they are 100% rinsed. No soap residue left behind. And Lava Soap usually does rinse real easy under fresh running water. So yeah, I wouldn't see why they couldn't work on the glazes. So that's how I rescue my brushes. I wish I could show you some brushes that have been in the fabric softener for the 24 hours. But there's already starting to be some movement in this brush, and it's only been that short little bit of time. So what I might do is I might pop back on around this time tomorrow night just to kind of show people how these brushes end up after the 24-hour mark, just so you can kind of see yourself. That way there's no magic of TV and look, I swear these have only been sitting for 24 hours. This way you guys can see they got put in tonight. They come out tomorrow night. I will do the dip in water, and I should say a rinse off in water, scrub on the Lava soap, scrub on the brush cleaner, and rinse. And they should be almost brand new and ready to be used again by customers. I've learned to do this rescue because, like I said last week, if I didn't rescue the brushes, I would be throwing out hundreds of dollars of brushes every year. And that's just not feasible. Obviously, there's going to be times when a brush has just died and there's nothing you can do about it and it does need to be thrown away. When that happens, it's sad, but oh well. You know, you've managed to save the brush like 4 or 5 times by that point in time, and you've gotten your money's worth out of it. But I am really bad about when I do pack up from a show, a home show or a home party, whatever you want to call them. When I've packed up and I bring it home, I throw it in the garage and I walk away and I go start working, making more product, and I forget that I needed to do my cleanings, so that I end up having to do the fabric softener and everything. But the next time I do parties, I'm going to try putting some Fabuloso in the water at the parties to see if that helps cut down on the wear and tear of the brushes at the party. Like, see if it actually helps keep them cleaner at the parties. So that is about all I have, unless someone else has questions or if they would like to see product on the shelves again. Actually, I might go ahead and just show the shelves one more time if everybody wants to see them. We're up to about 15 people, so I know there's people in here that didn't see the shelves being shown at the beginning. Somebody shoot me a thumbs up if they want to see the shelves again. If you have any questions, throw them in the comments. Other than that, oh, I see a thumbs up. Okay, so if somebody wants to see the shelves, I will show the shelves. And then I'll just pop back on here about this time tomorrow night so that you guys can see the brushes come out of the liquid fabric softener. I don't know why I have a problem saying that.